Hey YouTube, I'm here to talk about Greenleaf, Season 4, Episode 3. Okay, this thing opens up. It opens up with Grace is in Phoenix, Arizona, right? Her son, AJ, who nobody knows anything about except her and now the father, Noah. They're the only ones who know about him, right? Apparently, Grace had this kid and she gave him away because she didn't want the baby. And then she saw him again, apparently, at age 18. And she disappeared again. He proceeded to get in trouble. Apparently, his crime is he broke into a house and was caught sleeping in the house. He thought the people were on vacation. So he was looking for a warm place to stay and food, he says. So this boy ended up on the street. He was homeless. We can get all that from the fact that he was looking for food. Okay, so Grace arrives there. It's a really nice Christian kind of a church that's been converted into a halfway house for ex-convicts, right? She shows up unannounced. He rejects her completely. He makes a big scene about her. Go away. I don't want to see you. I just want you to give me money. Give me money. Are you going to give me the money or not? Real brat, teenagers. Hold on, let's take a minute of silence for the teenagers. The mothers and fathers who are raising teenagers. That has got to be an awesome task because this boy is not very likable. Although he's been rejected, so he's got his reasons. Now he's rejecting his mother. So at first he won't even speak to her, right? Eventually he does soften. It is slow. It's a slow trudge with these two. Then we switch off to May telling May's telling Bishop. Okay, May and her husband Bishop Greenleaf. He's not her husband anymore, but they're living in the same house. May tells Bishop that she had a dream, a vision in a dream, right? And beware of these people always telling you that they get visions and things like that because this man is the bishop. And he doesn't even accept someone else's dream as being factual. But she says she spiritualizes this dream and says that now he has to apologize to the congregation. She felt in the dream, he was in the dream, and somehow or other she interpreted it as he needs to apologize to the congregation at Calvary. Right? Because Calvary voted them out, the whole family out of the church. Grace and them were taken back in. Well, they voted to join Harmony and Hope, which is what happened. That's why they're no longer in charge of the church. Okay. He says, apologize for what? And she says, for everything. He says, no, I won't do that. And keep your dreams to yourself, Miss Lady May. Then we see Clarissa. Now she's then found a buyer for this land they own. The land they own across the street from Calvary, or what used to be Calvary. Apparently they own a big parcel of land. And so now she's found a buyer. He seems to be softening. He's smiling all through this thing, but he's still not saying yes. Right? Later he's going to counsel with his father. And Bishop is going to sternly advise him, do not sell that land. I'm with Clarissa on this one because, he's got no plan to do anything with this land. I don't know. I'd rather have a house than empty land. If he sells the house and buys another property, the other property is still land. It's just livable land. It's not wide open spaces where you can build, churches and buildings and things like that. But you still have something. It's not like you're just getting the money and throwing it away. It's to be reinvested in this property. But that's just my opinion. Okay. Jacob still doesn't want to sell, but he is softening. It's pretty obvious. They make it very obvious that he's softening to her desire and her wants. He wants peace in his house. He feels like perhaps the only way he's going to get peace is to give Clarissa what she wants. We didn't see Clarissa acting too bad in this episode. She's become the real B.I. etc., etc. Again, so far in this series, we're only three episodes in. She's been pretty extreme in the first 2 episodes, but now she didn't have one of those scenes in this particular episode. But she's determined to get this house. Okay, Charity. Remember that guy in the first season, the gay guy? There was a big scandal because he married a man. He came out of the closet, and then the church fired him. Well, apparently, I forget his name. I just don't remember. But apparently, he's back with the church now. He was the choir director. Yeah, I believe Charity was the minister of music, so she'd be over the whole department, and he was the choir director. Well, apparently, he is still the choir director. They brought him back. I don't remember. I mean, we're 4 seasons in, so at some point they brought him back into the church, even though he is married to a man. Okay. They get together and they are upset about this damn song. He hates the song, and Charity hates the song, right? Charity does not want to sing this song, this Harmony and Hope song, which she describes as a very white song. She doesn't like it at all. She thinks it's from the devil and all this kind of stuff. But he says, they told us we have to sing it. All Harmony and Hope churches, I guess they have 100 and some churches, they all sing the same song every service. That's got to be annoying as hell. Particularly not if it's not a good song. Usually praise and worship, they only do, our church, we do 2 songs. So if they do, let's be generous and say they do 3 songs, to have one of those songs be, a snooze, I can understand where she's coming from. But he tells her, the choir director tells her they have to sing a song. And she says, well, we're not going to do it. And he says that he has to go through grace. He's been instructed. He can't go through to Harmony and Hope about the song. They got to go through grace. Right? Charity gets an attitude, but she says she called grace. A woman is Misty, I think is her first name. They call her Misty. A woman has come to the church. She's in distress, right? It's very obvious that she wants to talk about something very important to her. She has an appointment with Grace. Grace is missing in action. She's in Phoenix, Arizona with her boy, right? But nobody knows why she's in Phoenix, Arizona. Nobody knows about the son, right? But this woman has an appointment, and she's got a real bad attitude about Grace not being there, since she is now the interim pastor of the church. While she's there expressing her displeasure, Phil walks up. Phil, he's trying to take over the church. He wants to be the new pastor of the church. Apparently his job overseeing all these churches is not fulfilling to him. He wants to be a pastor, and he wants to be a pastor of Harmony. Not Harmony. Yeah, Harmony and Hope, this particular church. So he steps in, and he says that he wants to counsel her. She resists, and he talks her into it. The lady's problem is she's got a daughter who has a history of being on drugs, some sort of pills. And apparently her daughter has relapsed and is missing. And then they want to pull an intervention. Apparently she knows where the daughter is, but her and Grace were planning on doing an intervention on this child of hers. So she tells Phil about it. He talks her into it, shall we say. All this is Phil's effort to win over the deacon board and the congregation to him being the pastor. We're back in Phoenix. This kid seems to be thawing a little bit to Grace, where they're at least able to sit there and talk for a minute. And she's got to win him over. I guess he's 18 or 19 years old, something like that. She got to win him over. So she tells him that he's going to need a cosigner to get an apartment. So she's staying. So they go on a quest to find him an apartment. And they start talking. He starts telling them about his crime. I already talked about that a minute ago. and they started getting to know each other. They find this fabulous apartment, right? Well, to my taste, it would be a very nice apartment for a 19-year-old boy. Find this apartment, and he's excited about it, and she's willing to pay for it. But then the white woman comes in and says, no. The manager says, the owner says, no, they will not lease to this kid because he has a record. Apparently, they've done a background check on him. And under no conditions, Grace said, can I talk to the owner? The answer is no. He gets an attitude, of course. He's a young person. But she says, we'll look again tomorrow. And we'll look the day after that. And I'll just stay until we find you someplace to live. Right? But in the meantime, let me see. Okay, so there's a scene where Bishop and Jacob are together, and Bishop is adamant. Do not sell that land. Do not count the house to this woman. It's not about no house. She wants to feel like she's setting up a home for you. She wants more attention from you, kind of thing, right? Be a better husband. I guess Bishop wants him to stay in the house with them. I mean, it's a massive mansion. If no one's there, it's kind of empty. But Clarissa desperately wants to be out of that house. She wants her own family home. Right? Even though the daughter's about to leave, so it'll just be those two. The Bishop is adamant that land is very important. Hold on to your land. That's how rich people get rich, by holding on to the land. That's what he says, right? Let me see. Get this a little bigger, brighter. Okay. Zora. All right. We know Miss Zora has got the hots. She's all hot in her panties about this boy. So apparently she's not even met him before. So Zora finally meets Dante. Dante is the athlete which her father is counseling. He is a professional, but her father is in charge of keeping him clean and on point, right? Well, he's coming to the church for a meeting with Jacob, and she tends to crash that meeting. She's all dolled up. She's a very beautiful girl. She's all dolled up, and he shows up, so she finally meets him. But unfortunately, only moments later, she meets his girlfriend. She is slightly behind him. She comes in. She's got a bad attitude because you can tell because this girl's so cute. She's very easily intimidated, I see. Possessive. She doesn't trust this girl right off the top. That's what her body language seems to say to me in the beginning. It seems like she said, back up off my man, kind of thing. But that's not totally how it is. Well, it's not totally the way it is. Because he goes into a meeting with Jacob, and those two girls, they kind of bond. Or Zora mentions that she lives in her own place on this estate, right? So the girl gets all excited. She wants to see the estate. She wants to go there, right? So they go. They have girl talk, makeup stuff, play with the hair, and they kind of seem to be bonding. Then he shows up. Dante shows up at the cabin. Now the girl acts like she was cool with Zora, but when he came, he said, "Well, we'll see you again," and the girl says, "Or not," with a snappy kind of face. She just don't trust him. Apparently, this boy's got a past. We know he drinks, so he goes out and gets in trouble. But we don't know if he's a womanizer or not. Anyway, Zora's met this guy that she's infatuated with. Okay. This is kind of the big scene is Bishop and Lady May both decide to go and see about this woman, Misty. I think Misty might be on the deacon board. Because at some point she's voted for harmony and hope. Anyway, they both want to find out what's going on with this woman. She's keeping it very quiet. She won't talk to anybody about what's going on. She only wanted to talk to Grace. She's traded that loyalty and talked to Phil. So we don't know if Phil staged the intervention or not, but Lady Mae and Bishop feel like they should be doing that. Even though they're not the pastor and the first lady anymore, they still have a relationship, particularly to these deacons who can vote them in or out. So Lady Mae's dream told her that Bishop got to apologize. He's done wrong. He's a bastard. He's done all kind of awful things, right? Well, this woman finally, after Mae presses and presses and presses, first she tells her about her daughter being in trouble. They're supposed to do this intervention, right? And then she tells her the truth about why they voted Harmony and Hope in. Why she herself voted Harmony and Hope in. It wasn't about Bishop. Bishop could have stayed in the church. What they wanted to get rid of was her, Lady Mae. Me? Yes, you, honey. They wanted to get rid of her because she said that the people in the deacon board did not believe that she did not know about these molestations that were going on. Remember, Greenleaf started with this whole thing about Matt. I remember now how good that first and second season was. But it was all about Matt, right? The child molester who was molesting these girls and molested the girl who died, Faith. Faith went on. She got involved in drugs. She ended up killing herself, right? And then we found out that this guy, Matt, had molested other girls as well. Apparently there were many girls. And the church was siphoning money to pay off these girls' families when it was discovered, right? Well, she's saying that the women in the usher board, well, I shouldn't say the women, the people in the deacon board did not believe that she didn't know that her own daughter was being molested in that house. And other women, other young girls were being molested. They cut from there. So Lady Mae, she says, oh, the dream wasn't about her husband. The dream was about her. She's going to have to confront these people at the church, the congregation, but particularly the deacon board, because they don't believe her. Okay. Mae demands now that Grace come home after she gets this tea. This woman doesn't want to deal with her. So now she's demanding that Grace returns home that same night. I wouldn't have came back because she's just now getting to this kid. And now her mother's going to demand that she comes back right then. She doesn't even know what the situation is there. But since Grace can't say what it is, she acquiesces, and she's got to tell this kid now that she's got to leave. He gets an attitude. They're split again. Phil meets with Charity about this song. He's saying the song stays, Charity. Song stays. The song is sung at every one of their churches. Every Harmony and Hope. Apparently the boss's daughter wrote the song or has some connection to the song. And they insist that all Harmony and Hope churches sing this song every service. From what I heard of it, I don't think it seemed like something to be sang more in a Catholic church or something. Anyway. And then she, in order to win his favor, Charity spills that Grace is in Phoenix. Huh? What she's doing there? So now he wants to know why Grace is in Phoenix. Can he find some dirt on her or whatever? Because basically his fight is against Grace as far as being the pastor. It's going to probably be her or him. So he already enlisted her, Charity, as his spy. So he apologizes to her because he's given her some information. They're going to be investigating why this girl is going to Phoenix, Arizona. Mae talks to Bishop. Okay. Mae and Bishop are together. She talks to him about what Miss D had said and about her dream being about herself, right? And this is the confusing part is she gets very close to saying that she did know. And maybe in the midst of it, she did say that she did know. She's not sure if she knew or not. It's like she was in denial. denial is a very real thing, right? Person can be in denial about someone's addiction. They can be not in denial about somebody's behavior. And she is concerned that she actually, some part of her, did know what Matt was doing, which would be devastating. We're talking about our own daughter here and many other girls. So maybe they're saying that not necessarily that she knew about what was going on with Faith, their daughter, but these girls were coming to this camp and he was molesting a lot of them. They're saying how a lady may not know about that, and the churches have been paying off these girls for years. All right, he talks her into saying, "No, you didn't know. No, you didn't know." She is right on the cusp of saying, "I did know," but she's saying basically, "I don't know that I knew or not. Was I in denial?" So we got to get Lady Mae into some therapy and some hypnosis and find out exactly what she did know when she knew it. All right. Jacob tells Clarissa that he does not want to sell this land still. He's had a week to think about it, and he still feels the same way. Bishop has advised him strongly not to sell the land. And he told her. They leave us hanging there because they didn't give us her reaction to it. Right? Yeah, seems like they should be able to find another way to get this house if it's so important to them. I mean, these are, I assume, still rich people. Anyway, but he's saying no to selling the property. I think that boy is going to have something to do with him getting that house, though. The athlete, he already offered him $10,000 cash last week, right? So, and to keep quiet about his activities. So why is that guy even in the episode? Why is he even in the season? It's got to be more than him teaching him how to play basketball. I mean, how to not get drunk and focus on basketball. So I'm feeling that he's going to have something to do with them coming up with some money. That's only a guess. All right, next thing we see is the whole family. When Grace is arriving back in the mansion, the whole family is gathering in the basement. They're going over old slides. First slide shown is Faith. Faith at around the age that she would have been being molested. When she was still a little girl. We don't know what age Matt started molesting her, but this girl looks like about 10 years old or so. Anyway, Mae usually would turn her back, turn her head. She can't take it. She can't deal with it. But now she wants to embrace her memories of Faith with the family, right? So they're all together. Last thing we see is Grace calls AJ. AJ's still pissed off at her. What do you want? I don't. He's still being a brat. This boy has been homeless. He got this rich woman wants to now set him up. You would think he'd be a little bit nicer, but he is a teenager. Anyway, she calls and she says, AJ, what do you want? I want you to come home. This is probably what this kid really wants more than anything else, more than the apartment or anything else. He knows about Zora, about Sophia, but he's never met her. He wants to know his sister, and he wants to be accepted into this family, at least acknowledge that he exists in his family, because he's been thrown away for his whole life. And that's where they ended, right? That was Greenleaf, episode 3. Very entertaining. I'll see you guys next week. Later.